Okay, sorry I wasn't recording at the beginning, but we're going over FOIL. The first times the first is the first. I try to do that in red. That's the 36x squared. The next one we're doing is outside, so that's the outside ones. I'm going to do that one in blue. 12x times 15 is just 12 times 15. Somebody give me that number real quick. 180x. Okay, that's 12 times 3. So that didn't show up as good as I wanted it to, but since that's positive, I'm going to leave that as a positive. The next one is the inside. So I'd like to do this because I distribute this 12x to both of those. And then when I do the other one, I go underneath. It's still distribution, but I'm just going underneath so that my lines don't get all tangled up in each other. Okay, so now I'm going underneath. I have negative 10, that's a negative 10, times 3, which is negative 30x. Okay, I'm going back over this with pencil because I don't feel like it's dark enough. And then the last one will be this guy and that guy. So negative 10 times 15 is negative 150. So I've hopefully color-coded all of this. That way it kind of looks a little bit better. Okay, so from here, I combine what I can combine that is alike. So like terms is what I'm combining. Okay, so I look at these and I say, okay, 180x and negative 30x are the same, and that's it. Everything else has a different last name, so I'm just going to copy straight down. 36x squared, I just copied that one straight down. This one is a 180 minus 30, so I get 150 positive, right? 150x minus 150 at the bottom on the back. So that's all I did was FOIL, and then I combined like terms. There is a shorter way to do this, and I'll show you that if you would like to adopt that method, you absolutely can. So 12x minus 10, and then we have 3x plus 15. So I'm just showing you another way that I like to do this. So I'll do the first times the first, and then I'll write it down, 36x squared. And then I'll do the first and the outside, and I'll write it right above it, right here. So it's 150 or 180x, right? Then underneath, I'll write that one straight down as well, negative 30x. And then I'll do the last, which is minus 150. Now, the reason I didn't write anything in the middle is because I'm going to add these two together. So I just wrote them above each other so that I can combine the like term, because those always combine. They're always alike, almost every single time. And when we're in the Saxon book, it's always the same. So 150x. And I get the same exact answer. It just seems like less steps when you do it that way. Of course, you can use that if you want to. If you don't want to, just go with the old traditional method. Okay, so that's a review of what FOIL is. I'm going to do a couple quick ones just so that we can see how things end up interchanging. So example 1, we're going to have x minus 3 and x plus 3. I'm going to try to go through these kind of quick so that we have time to work, but if you have questions, of course, stop me. Okay, so first times the first is the first, x squared. And then I'm going to do the outside, which is positive 3x, the inside, which is negative 3x, and the last, which is minus 9. I have two like terms right there in the middle, and they end up canceling each other out because 3 minus 3 is 0. Push really hard. Okay, then we have drag that down, x squared, and drag this one down, minus 9. And that's my final answer right there. It's kind of an ugly 9, but... Okay, the middles ended up canceling each other out. And if you notice from the beginning, I have a negative and a positive, and they're both exactly the same other than the different signs, and they end up canceling each other out. So that's a quick one that you can do. And then we'll see things like x plus 2 squared, which is the same as x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Okay? It is this thing multiplied by itself, so we have to do that. And then we still do the same concept. First times the first is the first, x squared, and then the outside is 2x, the inside is also 2x, and then the last is 4. Okay? And then the middles combine to be 4x, and then the rest just drags down. Yes, sir. I will. I'm just giving you the heads up beforehand. So. Okay, I don't want you guys to fall behind. If I'm moving too fast, you gotta tell me to slow down. Because it doesn't do you any good to write down the notes if you have no idea what they mean. Okay. Alright, so those are the two main ones that you're going to see a lot. This is called the difference of two squares. Or sorry, this is called the difference of two squares. And then this one is just a straight up perfect square. Okay, so what you'll end up seeing is double whatever the back piece is in the middle. And then, of course, you'll see this times itself in the back and this times itself in the front. So I'll show you another one, what that would look like if we did another one like x plus, let's do x minus 3. X minus 3 squared, which is x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 3. Okay, so first times first is the first, x squared. Then we'll do the outside, which is minus 3x. And then the inside, which is minus 3x again. And then the last, which is plus 9. Okay, combine the middles. So I have a minus 6x, and then I drag down the rest. Okay, so what we're doing today, the thing that Paul's bugging out about, is we are undoing this. So everything that we're doing straight down, we're going to do exactly backwards. Okay, so that's why I'm showing you this, because we got to learn to walk before we can run. Okay, so that's why I keep showing you guys this, and we'll see all kinds of different combinations. We don't normally see things this big. Okay, I'll let y'all guys make that one up, but we don't normally see things that big. Okay, any questions before we get going? Say it. Speak now for everyone, please, there, Christian. Okay, so here's one of our first examples. X squared plus 18x plus, what was it going with this? We're going to say plus 6 instead of 18, sorry. Plus 6. You need to make up good examples here. I'm not doing a very good job. You want it to be 3? No, that one won't work.
4, 9, 6.
Okay, guys, you're not helping. Hey, 9. Actually, Call said 9. That works.
Tanya said 9.
Oh, Tanya said 9.
No, I said 9.
Okay, well, 9 works. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to call, this is called factoring. We're going to factor this. We've already done one worksheet on this. Now we're doing it again because we have more people here, and we have to get good at this. We're starting to see it more in our lessons. So, I'm going to factor this. The thing that I know that I have to do, okay, I'm going to set this little side note right here. This is an ax squared plus bx plus c. That's the form. That's standard form. Okay, so normally we will factor 3 things. We will factor a, we will factor b, and then we will factor c. So in a bigger problem, we will do all 3 of those factors. In small, simple problems like this that have a coefficient of 1, we only end up factoring c. So that's kind of nice. All right. So seeing that the factors of a, what is a here? No. Notice this is ax squared. A here is just 1. Okay, a there is just 1. So if I factor out x squared, what are the factors of x squared? X and x, right? So I'm putting the factors of x squared up front. Okay, the first times the first is the first. So watch. First times the first is the first. Boom, there it is. Now I know that the last times the last is going to be the last. So I need to figure out what factors of 9 will give me 6 in the middle, right? So Call says 3, but I have to look at something first. I need to look at this sign. If this sign right here is positive, then I know same sign sum. Same sign sum. Okay? 3 S's that will get you through life. Same sign sum. Okay, so same sign sum tells me that it's going to be the same sign, but this middle one tells me which of the signs it will be, whether it be minus or plus. Okay, so here, since that's a plus, it's going to be same sign sum positive. Okay, so both of those are going to be pluses. Then I look at factors of the back. Since it was same sign sum, I'm going to say factors of 9 that add together, because it's sum. Factors of 9 that add together to give me 6, and Call was right when he said 3. Okay, and then I just quickly check it. I know that the first times the first is the first, x squared, and I know that the last times the last is the last, 9. So I just need to check the middle. So the inside is 3x, and the back sides, here we go. So we're looking back sides on the outside and the inside. We need to check. So the outside is also 3x, and I look at it, it's 3x and 3x, which makes 6x, and that's right. So this is my answer right here, the x plus 3 times x plus 3, but I need to simplify it. That is x plus 3 multiplied by itself, right? So that means that I can put it in my parentheses and put squared. X plus 3 squared. What did it just say? Yeah. Simplified, you want it in this form right there. Expanded is this form. Simplified is that form. Okay. Any questions there? All right. Now, if I do one more example here, let me do a little quick note. Okay, so I have 2x squared up front. I have 1 in the back, and I will have 3x in the middle. So I set up what I know first. Set up what you know first. I know that I'm going to have 2 sets of parentheses. And then I look at my back sign right here. What does that tell me? Same sign sum. What does this sign right here tell me? Both of them are going to be plus. Good. Next, I want to look at my front side. What are the factors of 2x squared? What is the factors of 2? What are the factors of 2? 1 and 2, that's all. So I have 2 and 1 up here. Then what are the factors of x squared? X, right? So I don't need to write 1x, I just need to write x. So I'm going to get rid of that guy right there. Okay? So now I have the front. First times the first is the first, it works out. Now what is the factors of the backside? Factors of 1. What are the factors? That's plural. 1 and 1. So 1 and 1, I don't even have any other options, right? Then I just double check it and make sure it works. So I have 1x and I have 2 x's. I add them up, I get 3 x's, and it works. That's what's in the middle. So that is my answer. Factored out right there. Questions? I think you're trying to ask a question, Cole, but I don't know what you're saying. Can't hear you. What is it? I can't hear you, Cole. That is as simple as it gets right there. Simplified. Yep. If they're not the exact same thing on the inside, you can't combine them anymore since it's multiplication. Okay. Okay, up front I have 6x squared. In back I have 6. In the middle I have 13. Okay, so I have 6x squared plus 13x plus 6. And I know a few things. I'm going to do this on a bigger sheet of paper. Hold on. What is the very first thing that I know about my problem? I'm going to need what? I'm going to need parentheses. So I should never get to your desk before you have at least 2 sets of parentheses written out and ready to go. The second thing that I definitely know is what? Same sign sum in this particular case. If it was a minus sign, then it would be different sign difference, right? So I know I need 2 sets of parentheses. I know I'm going to have same sign sum. What is the sign going to be? Positive, right? So I'm going to put plus signs in both of those. Now, this one is much harder because I now have to consider factors of A. What is A? What is A? It's 6, right? So I need to consider all the factors of 6. 1 and 6, 2 and 3. That's all there are, right? I also have to consider factors of C, which is again 6. And then I have to consider factors of AC. Now that's A multiplied by C. So what is A multiplied by C? 36. So I need to consider all factors of A multiplied by C.
136,
136,
66,
6 and 6, 2 and 2 and 18. It's a method, guys. I'm teaching you the method now. 2 and 18, then you said 12 times 3.
yeah.
Is there any more that anybody can think of? I got 1 and 36, 6 and 6, 2, 18, and 12 and 3. 4 and 9?
Yeah,
Okay, that's all the ones I can think of. These will get easier as you go and you won't have to factor them all the way out. So this is called the AC method. Okay, the reason it's called the AC method is because you multiply A and C together. I just call it the AC method. I don't know if that's the actual proper term or not. Okay? Because I didn't need it. Okay, so what I'm looking for here, using the AC method, is I'm looking for, because it was positive, I'm looking for factors of A multiplied by C that will give me the middle number 13. Which of these will give me the middle number 13? 12 and 1 is not a factor of 36. 4 and what? 4 and 9. So when I'm looking at factors of 36, because it was same sign sum, I'm looking for factors of 36 that add together to give me 13. Okay? And I'm going to take those two numbers, I'm going to write them right here. 4 and 9. 4x and 9x. Okay? I'm going to write them top and bottom. Now there's a reason behind this. Okay? So our factors of 6 were 1 and 6, 2 and 3, right? So this is A. Make that little note. This is A. This is C. And then that was AC. So I factored out three things. Now I'm looking for the combination of these factors that will create 4 and 9. Which combination of these factors will create 4 and 9? So I'm going to give you a hint. A will be 2 and 3. So when I multiply A and C together, I get 4 and 9. So which A and C go together to make 4 and 9? I have 2 and 3, and then I have, so for example, if I multiplied these two together, I would have 2 times 1 and 3 times 6. Or I would have 3 times 1 and 2 times 6. Neither one of those make 4 and 9, though. But this one right here, 2 and 2 make 4. 3 and 3 make 9. Okay? So I'm looking for the combination of A and C. There's a lot into this. Now, from here, I know that the factors of A are 2 and 3. So I'm going to write them out. 2x, 3x. A is the front thing. C is the back thing. So now I need to figure out where can I put my 2 and where can I put my 3 so that my 2 gets multiplied by my 2. So look here. 2 gets multiplied by my 2 and 3 gets multiplied by my 3. Okay, so when I check this, I go 2x times 2 gives me 4x. And 3 times 3x gives me 9x, and I get 13 when I combine it. And that should work. So I'll just double check my work here. 2x and 3x give me 6x squared. 3 and 2 give me 6. And I'm good. Because I already checked the middle. So there's my answer. Now I bet there's just thousands of questions, right? So we're going to do another example before we get to those. See, we've already done a lesson on these ones. Okay, so we're going to do another example. And we're going to use the AC method to do it. And I know you're just super excited about it. So before we get to that example, I'm going to do one with just a negative so that you can see what they look like. Okay, so up front, this is a new example. Up front, you're going to have 4x squared. In the back, you're going to have minus 2. Then we're going to have positive 2x in the middle. So now my equation is 4x squared plus 2x minus 2. What do I know I have to have? Parentheses. I always have to have a set of parentheses. So I'm going to put them in. Now what do I know? Different sign, different. So one of them is going to be minus, one of them is going to be plus. Now I don't know if the plus is going to be here or here. I don't know if the minus is going to be here or here. But I do know that one of them is going to be a plus and the other one is going to be a minus. Okay? So just keep that in mind that I can flip-flop those at any point. Now, I need to look at the front side. A is 4. So what are the factors of 4? 2 and 2 and 1, 4. Don't ever forget the really easy ones. Then I need to factor out C. What are the factors of C? 1 and 2. There's no other options. So since I only have factors 1 and 2 on the backside, I'm going to go ahead and put them in there. Okay? I don't know where they're going to be yet, but I do know they're going to be 1 and 2. And that means that this 2 could be up here and this 1 could be back here. I don't know. So there's some trial and error to this.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Now, which one is your C?
It's the back side. So C is this back piece. Remember, it's ax squared plus bx plus c. So the last thing. If it's in standard form, it's the last thing. Okay? Oh, so you're confused because there was 2 different 2's, right? Okay. Now I have to use the AC method. So what's A multiplied by C? 8, right? So I need factors of 8. 1 and 8 is obvious. 2 and 4. Are there any more? I can't think of any more. That's, again, nice. Now, since it was different sign difference, I'm looking for factors of AC that when subtracted, because it's difference, will give me 2. Which one is that? 2 and 4. So I circle them. Now, from A to C to AC, I need to figure out how to make 1 and 2 into 2 and 4. How am I going to make 1 and 2 into 2 and 4 using A? Okay, am I going to use 2, 2, or am I going to use 1 and 4? Oh, there's 2 options, isn't there? Oh, no. So I can either use, this is an interesting problem because there's other options, right? I can either use 2 and 2 or 1 and 4. Because if I go 1 times 2 and 4 times 1, I can get 2 and 4. Or I can do the 2 and 2, which would make 2 times 1, which would give me the 2, and 2 times 2, which would give me the 4. It's interesting, you don't get to see very many problems like this. So either one of them would be right. So let's just pick one. Let's do 2 and 2 because we haven't seen 2 and 2 yet. So I know I'm going to have 2 up front on each of those, and x. Now if my minuses are in the right place, then we're good to go. So let's figure out if we're in the right place. Negative 1 times 2x gives me a negative 2x, and then I get a positive 4x here. When I add those two together, I get a positive 2x, and it works. So just real quick, check my fronts. 2x and 2x is 4x squared. Negative 1 and 2 is negative 2. Blam. There's my answer. Now, what we saw here is 2 different combinations, right? So now let's run the one with 1 and 4 on it and see what happens. So again, I need 2 sets of parentheses. I know I'm going to have a minus and a plus. I know that my backside has to be 1 and 2. And then my front side will be the 1 and 4. So this time we're going to use the factors of A that are 1 and 4. Okay? So I'm going to put my x up here, and I'm going to put my 4x back here and see if it works. If it works, we're good. If not, I might have to move some stuff. So I have x times 4x, which will give me 4x squared. I have 1 times 4x, which will give me a negative 4x. And then I have x times 2x, which will, or sorry, x times 2, which will give me a 2x. And then I have negative 1 times positive 2, which will give me a negative 2. So my front and back side are good. Let me see if my middle is. I have a negative 4 plus 2, which gives me a negative 2. So I was wrong there. Because it came out negative instead of positive, all I have to do is switch my signs. And then recheck my answer. So positive 1 plus 4, or times 4 gives me a positive 4. And then a positive x and a negative 2 give me a negative 2x. And when I combine those, I have 4x minus 2x, which gives me a positive 2x, and I'm good again. So either of those answers would have worked. Now, that was an example that you get to see 2 different answers for. The way we could have eliminated having 2 possible answers is if we would have took the first equation, 4x squared plus 2x minus 2, and factored out a 2. And I can do that by simply taking 2, putting it on the outside, and then finding what each of these divided by 2 would be. Okay, so there is everything divided by 2. Okay, and I put that 2 on the outside because I could convert right back to where I started. And now I have another problem that I could have solved. And this is just to do another example. I'm going to factor out this 2x squared plus x minus 1. So what do I know I need? Parentheses. So here's my two sets of parentheses. Now here's the trick on this one. If I can factor something out in the beginning, I want to because it'll make my life easier in the end. But I also have to remember that I drag it down here when I get to it. Okay? So just remember that you're dragging it down, call. So now I need to look at this one. What are the factors of my A? 2 and 1, right? So 2x and 1x. What are the factors of my C? 1 and 1. Now I'm looking here. What does this tell me? Different sign difference, right? So I'm either going to have a plus here and a minus there, or a minus here and a plus there. I just need to figure out which one it is. So I'm going to just run a quick test. 1 times x is x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2x. When I combine those, I get a negative 1x, which is not what they have. So I'm going to switch it. So I have a minus here and a plus here, and another quick test will give me a minus x and a positive x, or a positive 2x, and it gives me a positive 1x.